we're about to have some fun, as I have been doing with this new metagame. So many new toys to explore, not just what's in OU by technicality, but I think there's just a lot of room for creativity, and we're going to be seeing that more and more as the metagame unfolds. That being said, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you guys for 16K, and it just keeps getting better. Now, shout outs to Joey, or whoever Joey got this team from. You know, Joey does not build. Joe, you know you don't build. Anyway, Heatran's cool to see. Mousehold is cool to see. Sticky Web is not so cool to see. Ninetales is not so cool to see. No Spin Blocker is cool to see. I could go the same route as him, but it wouldn't benefit me. Moth is good. Moth is really good. Yeah, let's clap early. Ooh, Mousehold, this is wonderful. I actually didn't realize I didn't change the set. I meant to put Kowtow on this. It's gonna benefit me here as Tusk/Strand comes out. I could put a Pivot, but it doesn't really get me as much mileage. What does that mean? So what I'm looking at here is either a removal of the Heatran equals sweep game, or a removal of Heatran for sure, because Kommo-o as well, or acquiring the hazards or breaking the Rabombe's item, and Kommo-o do its damn thing. He doesn't have a spin blocker, so it's not the hardest thing in the world to remove the hazards with the proper positioning, especially with Terra Steel Excellent. So this allows for me to lure out Heatran. I'd assume I end up luring out the Mousehold, not luring out, he population bombs, which sucks, because you know, I didn't know low kick would do that little, which means he's likely gonna switch here. It is what it is. I like Kowtow. Cleavicle. Okay, Loke. Oh man, so I put myself in quite the predicament because he encored. So now this actually has the advantage versus me, but that's fine. We put ourselves in this position, we'll get ourselves out of it. So I gave him a big edge by my own mistake, and yeah, I didn't know low kick did that little, nor did I expect him to mindlessly sack the Mousehold. So yeah, since he was gonna sack the Mousehold anyway, one would assume he's just gonna population bomb, but if not, so be it. So I killed the Mousehold, but he took a lot more value than he should have. So yeah, negligence on my end, but we got the data we needed. It doesn't changed. If you notice, there's usually a sense of calmness. I mean, when am I not calm, right? Even offline, that's something people who meet me tend to attribute. They're like, you're very calm. Women in particular, obviously, because women respond more intensely to a man's emotional state, so that makes sense. I didn't expect him to reveal. It does put me in quite a bind, but we'll have to see what some other things are first, because as I mentioned, like, let's say Gambit goes away, I have the option of my own Ninetales and Rapid Spin. And if he's willing to give up his entire team for this, if he's willing to die for the cause, you know what I mean? He's probably gonna leave it, switch out. He actually encores. So again, I'm not sure what his core objective is, because he's giving me a lot of value for, you know, for you to not know my Terra, you know, things like that. So he even Terra steals you, gives up the Terra, which is very odd. Boost your energy's water. Okay, I didn't even know it was Terra Water. That would have been, it had Terra Blast on it, so there's a case for that. Of course, so obviously now he attacks me. The thing about it is that, what is the Rabombe's Quiver Dance to what? Kommo-o is what? Terra Normal. Does that benefit me? Heatran still walls me. Ninetales could get up the screens, but it's improbable. I mean, it's not improbable. It could get it up versus what's his face as well. I want to have the Sucker Punch option. I have Terra Steel, Headlong Rush on Tusk. If I Terra Steel, I leave the Roaring Moon an opening. We want to make sure that nothing has any openings. That Headlong Rush, and then need what? 2 turns, yes, 5 turns of Veil. Spurring the Moonblast here. I don't have much to say. Quiver Dances again. I still have the Sucker Punch potential. Very interesting game. I'm not sure what to expect here. I'm guessing this is offensive Rabambi. Kommo-o. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm more than happy to. I'll have him knock me out here. He has Draining Kiss. Did not expect Draining Kiss. Very interesting. Okay. Draining Kiss. But what is it? Quiver Dance. Probably a Bug Move and Terra Steel or something. Huh. Three turns of Veil. It's actually Booster Tusk. I just realized it was Booster Tusk. It's probably gonna predict this. Terra Stealing. Charm. What the fuck? Oh no. Very well. Okay. Stored power. Ooh. Aurora Veil. What the fuck? So that stored power is gonna fuck my Moth up now. Okay. Let's see if I die from this. Without the booster. I mean, he might charm. I do want to have the Sucker Punch option. But if I die to the... I might die to stored power most likely though. Because Tusk's HP is so low. Part of me wants to reposition into Gambit. But if I lose enough Mons, then I'll knock him out. Unfortunately, I have fucking low kick. This is where the shit's fucking irking me. If I had Kowtow, I have a shot. It's not over, but it's over, you know? The best way to win this is to have him throw. Okay, so he does attack me. I have a shot, especially because I have Gambit in, but it's very low. His Rabambi was a very cool set and it took a lot of value from me. I've never seen Quiver Dance boost, but that's what I was talking about, right? There are a lot of cool things to explore. I don't think we can win this. Is it booster attack? It's booster attack, which is actually great news because I'm not switching, and that'll give me the opportunity to go to Moth and force this out. I don't think he'll end up mattering. I knew he was gonna acrobatics, but because my Moth, because his Heatran is still alive, I can just always go to Heatran. And Ogerpon is gonna lose. It's funny because I had sub on this and I took it off because I was like, because this wasn't on the team originally. So this came down to me fucking up the sets. If Gambit was the set it was supposed to be, the Mousehole wouldn't have done any damage, and most of this probably wouldn't have happened. So ideally he would have. I mean, me getting a special attack boost here doesn't really matter. Him stacking Tusk is wise. Him repositioning into Tran doesn't matter. If I had Grassy Glide, that could have been a misplay if I had Grassy Glide, but if I had Grassy Glide, the Roaring Moon would wall me and 1v1 me, so it's not Grassy Glide, you know what I'm talking about. But as I said, none of this matters. Horn Leech, it doesn't matter, because this is faster than Ogerpon naturally. If it's not for some reason, then I could have, yeah. But Moth loses to Tram. So yeah, that's our first game. Actually not supposed to be Booster Tusk. I didn't even look at the sets. What kind of team is it? You know, I'm gonna try Focus Sash on this Tusk. I think Sash. Let me actually look at these sets. Well, very cool Rabambe set. It's one of those kind of moves and teams where once it works the first time, you can't really, you know, not versus anybody who knows what they're doing, it won't work again because it depends so heavily on the surprise factor. So those aren't teams I recommend for laddering. Just for things if you just want to have fun. Catch an opponent off guard, snatch some points, that kind of thing. So moving on, this looks like a more standard team. Cool to see Skeledirge. We can actually structure the game out properly this time, not the foolishness that I just did from the previous game. Yeah, I can see why Terra Water was on this shit. Train on Dirge, but I mean, you never see these Pokemon. Like, it's pretty odd that I'm running into them versus the typical score stuff. One thing I do have going for me is the Ogerpon Wellspring. Once that boy gets boosted, it's pretty much a snack wrap. Kommo-o could have been good, but it probably won't be. It's gonna take some maneuvering. He has a hard counter to almost everything except Gambit. I'm Terra Dark Alum. They have no forms of recovery. And the reason I'm saying this is because the Tusk isn't giving me enough mileage. So it's going to be about Gambit and Ogerpon, as you're going to see. So phase 1 is going to involve Kommo-o for the Scizor matchup. The thing about it is that the opponent could go about this a couple different ways. He could hard Tinglu or hard Dirge, depending on if he thinks I'm physical. Like, most of these are special. So what I wanted to initially do was reposition into Ninetales. The reason being is that it allows for me to get up the Aurora Veil immediately, which positions my Ogerpon to take value early, or my Gambit, depending on which one. If I go for the Clangorous Scales on his Tinglu, it allows his Tinglu to get rocks and break my Tusk Sash, most likely. But I think in the long run, that gets me the best returns. It could also go to Skeledirge, and I don't want Skeledirge versus Ninetales. So let me see what the opponent knows first. Clanging Scale is a fairly low risk play, no matter what he did. Right, I get the throat spray boost, which obviously hurts me. But I do get to weaken his Skeledirge, which is going to be important for Moth later on. If he chooses to Terra Fairy, so be it. It actually goes back to Scizor. That did a lot. I'd assume Banded Bullet Punch does not. There's no way. There's no way. So I killed the Scizor. I didn't want to give up Kommo-o yet, but based on how he's playing, I was like, okay, bro is shook. Bro is shook. So I get the Veil. Hypnosis would be beautiful here, but it doesn't ensure me value, because they're just coming in. And I can go for it here and risk it, or I can take advantage of him going to Dirge. If I hit the Hypnosis, I'm in a phenomenal position. Otherwise, I could have gone to Gambit and take advantage of this to Swords Dance and probably pick up another KO. So I Hypnosis miss. Okay, I hit it. Okay, I risked it. It was a fairly low risk. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if he stays in and it misses, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And with the Lum, he gets to slack off. Oh, he's fucking faster than me. He's a fast ass Skeledirge. Shit. He is a fast fucking Skeledirge. Which means obviously my attack boost doesn't matter. Okay. Shit. He gets the boost immediately and he's super fast. Okay. Not ideal, but you know, we'll make do. So I hit the Hypnosis, which is blessed. The Skeledirge is an issue. It might be worth putting sub on this. I don't know. I'm not gonna use this team ever again, so it's like. So be wary of super fast Skeledirges. That makes this matchup a lot harder, actually. especially because my veil is gone. Ivy Cudgel straight up because the in Burning Ninetales, I didn't expect Hard Moon. But yeah, I made this a lot harder for myself. Now, one good thing is that the Tinglu's asleep, so Kommo-o can come in more easily, but he's burnt to sleep turn, you know. And so this, yeah, could be back in U-turn, things of that nature, but Dirge is something we don't want coming in. I'll really put myself in a bind. The Dirge waking up first turn and being faster than my Gambit is big. If I had Katao there, or if I had or if he didn't wake up turn 1, it would have put me in a great spot. But we hit 2 Hypnosis in a row, so you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. A U-turn Tusk matchup is gonna be Corviknight. Corviknight doesn't get me that much value. Kommo versus Dirge is better, or forcing Dragonite in. He actually has Dragon Dance, so he's not even booster. I have my Tusk, so I'm not overly concerned about this, but and he hasn't considered my Terra. But I mean, I'm not, based on how he played the Scizor, I'm not shocked by this. I don't think he's thinking that far in advance. But it's not really about what he's thinking. I'm looking at his team, I'm scanning. Okay, what are my options here? I guess I just assumed he was Terra, but he's not Terra flying, which is useful to note because he'd have had booster. So Tusk can always come in. I don't want to, but if you know that, why would you even Dragon Dance? What could your Terra be to where you feel like you can take on Tusk? Maybe Steel, but even then, I mean, it's Bug. Okay, very interesting. I guess that's what your Terra is, you can take on Tusk, which means I'm not Fairy on this. Okay, very well then. So we Flamethrower here. It's that Jaw Lock stuff. I wonder if it's the Jaw Lock, like taunt stuff. Taunt boosting Jaw Lock. You remember that? With like a lot of defense. If that's the case, then being in my best interest to Veil and Moth. That won't serve me. It's better to Encore. That won't serve me. If I Aurora Veiled it, I would have been in a better position here. I didn't think he'd Jaw Lock the first turn. I didn't think he'd Jaw Lock the first turn, but yeah. The fall into Katao is no joke. He's used his Terra, which means my Ogerpon is better. He goes Hard Knight, and it's not clear. It could be Body Press. It's leftovers for sure. But I think I may be finished. How can I pull this off? It's not really, again, it's not about the fact that I use my Lum. It's not about the even if he were to Body Press here, if he has it. So his roots. Actually, I really wish I went for my Iron Moth that particular turn. So he does have Body Press, so that's great. This is great. So this is gonna be a great couple sequence of turns. I mean, you should always go Corviknight. There's Body Press Corviknight, which is useful data. Okay, I didn't think he'd stay in, which is, yeah, to be expected. My fucking great Tusk. So it's Iron Defense Press. You should. I don't think he should have revealed his set. There was no benefit to doing so. He's Brave Bird too. Okay, so he's that set I used to run. And that's gonna fuck me up with the Ogerpon. So that's the thing, and that's what I was saying, like, it's not really about what he has, it's about what I'm seeing in the future. And, well, I may have an out with my Tusk. It's not over, but you're gonna see why I may have an out with my Tusk. So what I need to do I need to. I need to double out to Ogre here on the Dirge. Dirge should never Will-O-Wisp. So I'd get to Ivy Cudgel. He Wisp. That was a. If I have sub there, you're finished. You never Wisp there, and he misses the Wisp, which is pretty much sealing. But the Dirge's damage is what I needed, because once the Dirge got touched, the Iron Moth became a big problem. I would never have gone about it that way. So now I can never go Moth, because Moth is the only way to. You already Terra? Yeah, Terra. Moth's the only way to take on his Corviknight. So since his body press, he should just Brave Bird straight up here. What would I sack? I'd sack. I can give up the Ogre Pawn if he Swords Dance. I need to condition him. He does Iron Defense. I didn't think he would, because again, the free switch into Moth. But oh, that's whack. But it's a high crit ratio, I've come to learn. But that's a whack crit. I didn't need the crit. I can understand his frustration, particularly on the Will-O-Wisp miss. The Corviknight boosting wasn't gonna really matter, especially because the Tinglu's asleep. All I needed was the Tusk to win. Tusk would beat all three, other than the Corviknight. So all he can do here is Jaw Lock, which is slower than my Ogre Pawn, if he's that old set. I don't know why he wouldn't go Dragonite first. But as I said, him allowing me to hit his Skeledirge, I figured based on how he was playing that would happen. Okay, he probably ate that shit like a fucking champion. And now we what could he do to me? A Dragon Claw. Thinking if Tinglu could maneuver something here. You just go Iron Moth here. Extreme Speed, yeah. And I just Ice Spinner to knock out the Dragonite. Let's not take the defense drops. It won't matter, but you know. So yeah, that was not the greatest showdown for us from looking at the Skeledirge and Heatran. And it's crazy because again, this had Terra Blast Water Iron Moth, which would have been useful in both cases. But I took it off and put sub, because I put the Ogre Pawn Water on there. So my end of live here is just that Kommo-o did nothing. I kind of wanted Kommo-o to do some things. So that was my logic there. But the first guy with the Rabambi, how cool was that, right? Very, very, very cool strategy. That's some Hita Fajita nonsense. But again, I advise against. I've never used strategies when you're doing things where you're playing people repeatedly that once they're used up never work again, or have a low probability to work again, unless you're just having fun. I mean, you're always having fun, but if you're training to improve and focusing on that, then excuse me, you always want to use strategies that even if the opponent knows what's going to occur, they're still going to work. Ogre Pawn Water here is devastating, just absolutely devastating. I mean, just absolutely devastating, especially because I have the Play Rough. It's absolute devastation, truth be told to you. Let me structure this out properly. So my Sash on Tusk will probably matter versus a Barraskewda or Manaphy matchup at some point, as you'll likely see. It's not in the best interest of the Pelipper to leave in. I love seeing the Torn. That's quite cool. Torn is a very tricky Pokemon. Gambit is really good, it's just depending on the situation. Man, this is an interesting matchup. So what I'll end up doing to cover all my bases, you notice Kommo is a massive issue to him, and it likely encourage him to leave the Pelipper, and even if he doesn't leave the Pelipper, and it's like, well, what are you gonna go to, right? Because the Tauren could be with Clangorous Blaze. How would you stop if I Clangorous Sold here? Because I'd get the defense boost. How would he stop this? Could be Choice Scarf. I really want to just attack him here, but I'll lose my special attack. And there are other alternatives to this. I'm going to Clangorous Soul to see what happens. Clanging Scales versus Boom Burst. Terra Normal Boom Burst will probably cook this Chestnut. If it's Spadef Chestnut, then +2 Boom Burst. Let's find out. Spadef Leech Seed. Oh. I have never seen that actually play off. What is? I wonder if they knew that. Yo, that's like such a man. That dude with the 1700 lost me so much points, but I decayed too because when I recorded yesterday's video, or whenever the last OU video was 2 days ago, so I didn't record yesterday, so I probably decayed, and that guy took a lot of my points. I don't. I mean, that was such a like a one-off situation. A Chestnut being Smack Spadef, which I think is. I used Spadef when I used Chestnut, but I don't. It was a different meta. That was like pre-home too. But yeah, like such a one-off situation. A roar, me being soundproof instead of bulletproof. You know, it's just so many different. I'm trying to think what. Obviously, the roar situation sound benefited, but I might be soundproof because they just didn't think of forgot about bulletproof. Which is funny because I think bulletproof should. Does bulletproof stop bullet punch? Because I mean, you'd assume so, but I've always known bulletproof to stop like ball moves. But what would soundproof even stop in the tier? Soundproof would protect me against what? Like bulletproof would protect me against Shadow Ball. I mean, like, I still think bulletproof is superior. I can't think of what soundproof would even. I think that might have been a mistake, and it bit my opponent in the ass. I don't think I'm supposed to be soundproof. Interesting. But yeah, bro really was like, yo, I'm finna roar him. So, and then once he saw that, his heart sunk. And I think I could have gone. I don't know how Clangorous Soul Blaze works. Let me know. Could I have used it again if I sacrificed more HP? Because in that case, I would have swept him straight up. Unless his Sash Iron Treads. But yeah, he was finished at that point. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed that little moment. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.